In this video, I'm going to walk you through how I made this Christmas-themed music video for a country artist named Jessica Lynn. Let's take a look at it. Now, just a note, I don't own the music. I only have the copyright to the video that I shot, so you won't hear the song, but I did put a link to the music video below if you want the full experience. I co-produced and directed this music video. I was a cinematographer and also the editor, so I'm going to walk you through pre-production and production. I'm not going to cover post-production. It's a pretty simple music video and the edit was very straightforward. So the topics we'll cover in this video are the 3 types of music videos clients will ask for, my responsibilities as a co-producer, working with the client in the pre-production stage, location scouting, crafting a look for the video, how we handled production, and we'll also talk about production issues because production issues can arise and typically do arise, and this video had an issue or two, and I'll explain how we handled those issues. There are timestamps for all these below, so feel free to skip around or just watch the whole thing because it's not that long. Every music video falls into one of 3 categories: performance, narrative, or concept video. A performance video is where the whole video is just the artist performing. A narrative video is where the artist is telling a story, and often the narrative video will also involve some performance. And then there's the concept video. The concept video means, all bets are off. The artist doesn't even need to be in the video. It's going to be wild, it's going to be wacky, and it may have nothing to do at all with the lyrics of the song. This particular Christmas music video is a performance video. It's just going to be Jessica singing in a bunch of different setups. Now, just so you know, Jessica and I have worked together before. I've made several music videos for her, and she's also acted in some of the TV commercials that I've directed. So in terms of our working relationship, I'm very familiar with how she likes to work and what she is looking for. And she understands that there are a lot of elements that all need to be present in order for her videos to have a big budget look, even when we're working with a very small budget. And we are working with a very small budget. Locations are the first and potentially the most important. So she uses her connections and relationships to try and find great locations. We've shot at this large farm property in upstate New York, at this super cool retro drive-in theater in upstate New York, and this really old colonial house that was basically set dressed for us. So for this Christmas music video, she has selected a local theater. She knows the owner, and she has a friend who has a big, beautiful home with a really nice living room. This friend spends the day after Thanksgiving decorating for Christmas, so this house will be available and set dressed for us to shoot in shortly after that. As a producer, that takes a lot off my plate, so I can focus on all the other things that I need to do. So those things are figuring out how large a crew I need for this shoot, then hiring that crew, making a schedule for the shoot day, and then making an overall schedule for this music video. That means when are we shooting and when do I need to get that final deliverable into the client's hand. For this shoot, we actually don't want to be filming at our home location during the day. We want a nighttime, firelit, snow falling outside, decorations on the tree, real Christmas feel. So our shoot's going to start at our theater location in the afternoon, and then we'll head to the house location and start shooting there in the evening after sun is set. When I'm working with a client, there are 2 main things that I'm looking to accomplish right up front. The first is my expectations of the client. What are they going to be responsible for to make sure this shoot gets executed correctly? The second is what they can expect of me. What are my responsibilities in this relationship? That information will go into writing so that both myself and the client can reference it. We'll sign a contract, and then we can refer back to it if there's a problem that occurs and we need to reconcile that problem. For this music video, Jessica is booking the 2 locations. She'll handle all the negotiations with them in terms of price and schedule. She's going to provide all the outfits that she's going to wear during her performances. She has her own hair and makeup person that she works with, so she's going to be responsible for booking that person for the shoot. She's also going to handle music playback. You don't want to shoot a music video and have no way to play back the song for the artist to lip sync to, so someone has to be in charge of that. Lastly, she wants fall snowing in the shot. Obviously, we're not going to gamble and hope that it somehow is snowing on the shoot date. So we're going to make sure that we have a solution of how we can make snow. And that solution in this case is buying a snow machine that you can plug in. You pour some soap-like liquid into it and it cranks out snow. Jessica is in charge of that. Now let's turn it over to me and see what I'm bringing to the table. I am making the shooting schedule for the day. I'm hiring and paying the crew. I'm bringing all of the filmmaking equipment. I'm directing, I'm shooting, and I'm editing the video. There are some things that we are going to do collaboratively. So we have a location scout, sometimes called a tech scout or technical scout, I head down to Westchester, New York, and I take a look at the theater and the house location with Jessica. The house at this point is not decorated for Christmas, but the homeowner points out where everything is going to be, and the most important thing, I think, is where the tree is going to be. Jessica likes to have a solid idea of what my shot list looks like, so we look at the angles when we're at the locations, we take pictures, and we make a plan for all the different setups we want to get. The other thing we walk through together is a color palette for the video. So, everyone knows that the primary Christmas colors are red and green, and white and winter go together. So we're going to have red, green, and white as our primary colors, and we're going to add blue to our palette because we know that Jessica is going to be wearing blue jeans in her home scene. And I also know that I'm going to need to backlight the snow, so I want to have a warm look inside the house and a cooler blue look outside the house windows. So those 4 colors are going to dominate our frames, and we're going to try and have everything else be some small variation or slightly different shade of these colors. We discussed Jessica's wardrobe down to the smallest detail, which in this case happens to be the shade of lipstick that she's going to wear. If you want your music video to look really good, or anything you shoot for that matter, so whether it's a commercial or a movie, you need to plan down to the smallest details. When all that pre-production is out of the way, it's finally time for the fun part. It's time to shoot. My main gig is directing TV commercials, and we work 10-hour days, so I plan all my shoots for 10 hours. So we have 10 hours split between 2 locations to get all the planned setups, and I have 2 of my own crew to work with. Jessica has her hair and makeup artist to help her, and her dad, who's also the bass player in the band and is her manager, is also going to be on hand. So we're going to have some extra help, which is always great. These are all the various setups we shot during the course of our 10-hour day. There was also a setup in front of the fireplace, which the client, she didn't like. So it didn't actually end up making it into the final video. If you want to see a detailed breakdown with behind-the-scenes footage of the lighting and gear used for every shot in this music video, you can head over to cinematiclearning.com. I have a course available for purchase there. And at the moment I'm recording this, the price for the course is $25, which I think is pretty reasonable. Now, unfortunately, we did have an issue on the shoot at our theater location. We had planned to get an angle from behind Jessica on stage where we would see out to the empty theater. But when we got there, there were all these set builds and other things laid out all over the theater. They were gearing up for a new production. We couldn't move those things. They were too heavy. We didn't have time or the manpower, so we had to scrap that shot. There was one other thing that I didn't like about this shoot. I can't call it an issue because we did plan for it, but here's a tip. When you only have a 10-hour day to work with, I would recommend trying to spend that day at one location so that you can maximize your time. We had a company move, which means we need to move our cast and our crew to a second location, and that means we have to break down all of our gear that we set up. We have to put it back on the truck, drive 20 minutes to the house location, unpack the truck, and set up all the gear again. And that just takes up too much time. And if I'm being completely honest, I hate packing and unpacking the truck. I really, really hate it. So try to get everything done in one location if you can. In my course, I go into a lot more detail about a lot of these topics, the pre-production, shot lists. I show floor plans and diagrams for lighting. I also talk about the gear and the set lighting as well. So check that out if you want to learn more. Like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.